Tonight, we continue our coverage of the officer-involved shooting last week and its impact on Kent's homeless community.
Theater fans rejoice. A critically acclaimed musical is coming to Kent State's campus tonight. Stay with KSTV to see what's happening in the world of the arts.
With Halloween right around the corner, Kent State is asking students to put on their costumes and celebrate. The details ahead and more as KSTV News at 6 starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday evening. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Gage Wellman.
We start tonight with continuing coverage of the death of a homeless man after he approached police with an axe.
Our own Nikki Kajeski spoke with members of the Ravenna community about its impact. Good evening, Nikki.
Good evening, Liv and Gage. Last week, we brought you a story about a homeless man killed in an officer-involved shooting. Last Thursday, we released the police body cam footage. Now, I have more details on the aftermath and Portage's homeless population. Last week, the usual scenic Portage hike and bike trail had a violent disturbance.
Our officers responded to a stabbing victim on the hike and bike trail. When our officers arrived and our fire department arrived, they were trying to render aid to the stabbing victim, and they realized they were being approached by a subject walking down the hike and bike trail towards them.
Police then shot and killed Matt Fries, who lived at the homeless encampment nearby. Noble says homeless individuals don't have a violent tendency, but struggle with mental health.
They want to be left alone. They just want to live there, they want to exist, and they don't want to be around other people. And a lot of that could be PTSD issues from their past.
Only a few days after the bike trail incident, the Ravenna Police Department tore down the encampment to relocate the trail's inhabitants, according to Captain Smallfield.
I wasn't aware that there was an encampment there until a few weeks ago. We ran into a lady that had said she had just left the encampment and got housing for herself.
With the problem of residents being on the streets or on the bike trails, come solutions like shelters, like Shepherd's House, except they're experiencing their own problem of overcrowdedness.
For the month of September, we had 45 calls of people needing sheltering. Unfortunately, right now we are full.
A 2023 report shares 648 people in the Akron, Barberton, Summit County area experience homelessness on a given night.
Really strongly recommend understanding and compassion.
Smallfield did tell me the bike trail is open and safe for community use. Reporting for KSTV News, I'm Nikki Kajeski.
Thank you, Nikki. The Portage County Sheriff's Office is under fire after their policy could be posing a safety problem to the city of Ravenna. They transport released detainees from the Portage County Jail on Infirmary Road to downtown Ravenna, whether or not that person wants to be dropped there or is even from the area. The drops occur in the evening when buses have stopped, which leaves the former detainees stranded. The Portage County Sheriff's Office did not respond to requests for comments.
Updates have come out after a 4-vehicle car crash occurred in Akron early morning on October 20th. Stephen Rockich, a bartender at Square Nightclub, was the owner of a car that was destroyed by a police officer's car. Rockich has also said that Akron police have not reached out to him even 9 days after the non-fatal car crash. Furthermore, Rockich believes that the city of Akron should reimburse him for the damages he has suffered.
The Trumbull Educational Service Center received a $2.279 million 5-year grant to collaborate with the Kent State University to enhance mental health services in schools. Scholarships and cost of living stipends will be provided to school psychology trainees in an effort to increase the availability of school psychological services for students. This initiative will focus on specific districts who meet specific criteria.
The Portage Path Mental Health Center has announced the creation of a new program that aims at helping pregnant women who suffer from drug abuse and mental health problems. The program is set to establish a specialized clinic integrating mental and maternal health with treatment for opioid abuse. According to Raman Krimpori, the vice president of Portage Path, Summit County has seen that 38% of drug overdoses from 2016 to 2020 were women.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. Let's trick or treat ourselves with learning about this Wednesday's weather. First, we are going to start with our hourly forecast of this Wednesday evening. We have a 71 degrees, pretty warm for 6 p.m. towards the very end of October. It has been partly cloudy today. We've had a little bit of clouds, a little bit of sun, but as we go into the evening, midnight, we will be jumping down to 64 degrees with only a 3% chance of precipitation, and it's showing a very stable, kind of steady weather that we're going to be keeping up until 8 a.m. where most of us will be starting our mornings with only a 7% chance of precipitation and back to that partly cloudy weather. Moving into tomorrow, our Halloween weather, we are going to be having a scarily warm day with a high of 78 degrees, low of 45, but it looks like we will be having some time in those high 70s with overcast skies for the majority of the day, but maybe keep a light layer around because we are going to be having winds heading south to southwest at up to 18 miles. Next, we're going to dive into our major northeast cities for tonight. 6 p.m. we are currently looking at Cleveland with 75 degrees. Ashtabula to my right, we have 73 degrees. Sandusky over with 75 degrees. Mansfield, similar, 75. Worcester, again, 75. It looks like we are all having a sunny Wednesday night. Akron-Canton area, 73 degrees. Youngstown with 71. And Kent, same as Youngstown, we are at 71 degrees. Does not seem like we're heading towards November at all, are we? But looks like we are. All right, make sure to stick around for more from me covering our current statewide weather for this evening, as well as our upcoming forecast for this week. Back to you, Liv and Gage.
Thank you, Eli. The second weekend of Pride and Prejudice, the musical performances start tonight. Kent Wired reporter Lauren Cohen was on scene last week to talk to viewers who gave positive reviews. Taking a look at some of the photos by Bob Christie, the musical is based on the Jane Austen novel of the same name. Performances run through November 3rd, and you can purchase tickets online or at the Performing Arts box office.
The Stephanie Woods Genius of Play exhibit has opened at Kent State. The exhibition is opened on the 25th and runs until November 26th. There will also be an artist reception and an artist talk tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. All events are free and open to the public and can be found at the Center for the Visual Arts Gallery.
Fab is hosting a Flashes trick-or-treat event for students to put on their best costume and get some candy. It'll be on the first 3 floors of the Student Center and the first floor of the library tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. The first 500 students will get a tote bag to collect their treats with. And the fun doesn't stop there. Fab is continuing it with a Boo Bash in the Student Center with even more candy, photo ops, and more from 4 to 6 p.m. Tomorrow morning, the Office of Gender Equity and Title IX team are hitting Risman Plaza for Trick or Treat, Consent is Sweet.
The event is returning for its second year and is focused on educating Kent State students on consent, especially during Halloween season. Students can stop by for music, candy, and costumes. If you've got any COVID tests that are beyond their expiration date, don't throw them away. KSTV has got the news on what to do with expired COVID tests.
Flash floods are sweeping through Spain. The details on the devastation ahead.
Today, the world could use a little more understanding. Understanding nurtured by shared values. We come together at Kent State. Different dreams, different viewpoints, united by purpose. Preparing to make a difference in our divided world. Wherever you are in your life's journey, come learn with us. Begin at Kent State.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Reach out, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Kent State student integration between Black Squirrel Entertainment and KSTV. Extra Life. Watch all your favorite entertainment shows in one big 16-hour marathon as they raise money for the Akron Children's Hospital.
That is fantastic.
Starring the illustrious celebrities of the blurb.
Do you want to go in the timeout?
No.
Okay, then say you're sorry.
The underdog nerds of All Systems Go. The comedic hooligans of Grab Bag.
My baby's gonna lose to you, you son of a...
The fun-loving gang, the College Voice.
Nice, Colin.
The musical masterminds of Kent Core.
Let's just
let's go.
And more.
You know the rules.
Just electric.
Come see all your favorite friends, support a great cause, and join in the fun. Extra Life. Premieres Saturday, November 2nd at 10 a.m. See it all on Black Squirrel Entertainment.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Early voting ends on Saturday, and Ohioans are casting their amounts.
KSTV's Tyler Schlosser spoke to the Board of Elections to get the story. How you doing, Tyler?
Well, I'm doing all right, Gage, and that's right. I went down to the Portage County Board of Elections and got the ins and outs of early voting in Ohio.
And I don't know why anybody would find exercising a constitutional right is a waste of time, because it's not.
People across Ohio seem to agree, but for many, spare time is hard to come by.
I just don't see how everybody can get their vote in.
That's where Ohio's early voting system comes in.
But on actual voting day, it just gets really hectic. Everybody rushing.
I work on Tuesdays usually on voting day, and some days I don't do it because I just don't feel like going there after work, so I figured get in and get it done.
Early voting is more popular than ever before. More than 1.6 million Ohioans have already voted, which has beat out total early voters in 2020 and 2016, with the election still 6 days away. The process is designed to be accessible to everyone who wants to participate.
But I think the demographics are the same for early voting as they are for voting, period.
Early voting across Ohio will be available every day until November 3rd. The times differ a little each day, so make sure you plan your vote ahead of time.
There's no way for there to be change unless people show up to vote.
And keep in mind that you don't need to go home to vote. Most KSU students can go to the KSU Wellness Center on voting day and cast their ballot using a provisional vote. From KSTV, I'm Tyler Schlosser. Keep looking out, Portage County.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, he talked about early voting. Let's get a few quick stats because Ohioans are casting their ballots in absolutely large and record-breaking numbers. Over 1 million Ohioans have already cast their ballots early in person, and nearly 800,000 have been returned via mail in voting. Several counties are also seeing a large increase in early voting compared to the 2020 election.
KSTV recently reported on a story that involved an Akron teacher who posted an inappropriate video on TikTok, which shows the man dancing suggestively with a younger-looking girl or woman. The Akron School District at this time has not confirmed whether or not the girl seen in the video is underage or a student at the school the man teaches at. The teacher has been put on immediate administrative leave, and investigations are ongoing. Senate Bill 29 took into effect last week in Ohio. The bill requires school districts to increase their communication with families regarding students' use of technology in schools, and it regulates what districts are allowed to monitor. Under SB 29, Ohio schools are no longer permitted access to monitor or use any tracking services or text messages between students. Several parents have expressed issue with the influx of emails regarding the rules of SB 29.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Let's get back to our Kent State and Portage County weather forecast for this Wednesday evening. We'll also take a look at our surrounding areas, including weather statewide. All right, we are going to start with our major Ohio cities statewide. We are showing 78 degrees for Toledo up there as we work more into the evening. And as the sun is setting, we have Columbus, 77 degrees, Cincinnati, usually a little bit warmer than the rest, but tonight they are hitting 2 degrees below Columbus with 75 degrees. Over to my right, we have Athens, 75 degrees. Akron, Canton area around us, we have 71. And Pittsburgh, just out of our reach, we have 75 degrees. So we are still in those low to mid 70s as we are reaching the 7 o'clock hour. Let's dive into our extended forecast, what we'll be looking at from tomorrow up until next week. So we have tomorrow high of 78, low of 45 with a 12% chance of precipitation, but we're going to be having cloudy skies. Friday, November 1st, we are going to have 53 and a low of 34, so we will really be jumping down, only 5% chance of precipitation. This weekend is going to be looking a little bit cloudy and a little bit rainy as we have a high of only 58 on Saturday, high of 60 on Sunday. Sunday we are having a 32% chance of precipitation, so we definitely want to make sure we have some raincoats with us. Monday looking even wetter with a 42% chance of precipitation and a high of only 70. We're going to be jumping up into Tuesday, 76 degrees with a low of 59. And Wednesday, when you see me again, it will be a high of 62 with a low of 42 and a 45% chance of precipitation. So keep those rain jackets close. Check back tomorrow evening for more weather-related content. As always, I'm your Wednesday weather anchor, Eli Fetterspiel. See you next week, Portage County, and happy Halloween.
Thank you, Eli. The Supreme Court ruled today that Virginia Republicans can remove non-citizen voters from the rolls. This removed 1,600 voters just a week before the election. Virginia is a same-day registration state, so any of those voters who were removed can still vote if they register on Election Day. The Virginia governor backed this ruling in order to protect the election from politically motivated interference.
Turning toward the economy, the Department of Commerce announced today in a report that GDP is on the rise. Furthermore, inflation has returned to the Federal Reserve's target of 2%, and consumer confidence is the highest it's been since March of 2021. This news has encouraged economists to declare what's known as a safe landing, which is an economic scenario where inflation is tamed without a recession.
The U.S. Department of Transportation has ruled that airlines are now required to refund passengers for a canceled or extremely delayed flight. Previously, passengers could get a voucher, but flyers have been increasingly frustrated with the process of getting them. Airlines must refund a passenger within 7 days of the flight if they paid with a credit card and within 20 days if they paid with another method.
In a report released today by ADP, it was found that over 233,000 Americans found new jobs this month. Most economists were actually projecting a loss of jobs in the month of October in the wake of Hurricanes Helene and Milton. However, sectors such as education or transportation saw at least 50,000 new jobs in just October. Job creation was also steady in companies with 500 or more workers, which added 140,000 of the reported jobs.
If you've got COVID tests that are nearing or past their expiration date, the U.S. FDA wants you to stop before you throw them away. Depending on the batch, the antigen test commonly used to detect COVID-19 may work up to a year past their expiration date. In order to find out if your test is still safe to use, visit the FDA's website. The federal government is still giving out 4 free COVID tests per household.
At least 62 people have died in the southern Spanish region of Valencia due to flash flooding yesterday. Areas across eastern and southern Spain experienced up to 12 inches of rain in just a few hours. In what was the worst day of rainfall in over 28 years in Valencia, meteorologists are saying these floods were created by what is known as a cold drop, or a gathering of cooler air higher in the atmosphere. It is unclear whether the cold drop was created by climate change.
In other international news, the Taliban has banned women from hearing other women's voices. Now, the specifics of this new Islamic-based law is unknown, but it is believed to mean that women can no longer have conversations with each other.
The country's Minister for the Promotion of Virtue and Vice announced that these new rules will be implemented gradually and that God would help guide them. Women who are caught breaking this rule will be arrested and sent to prison.
Campbell's is releasing a line of candles that may have you saying, good. That's if you're a fan of Thanksgiving sides. The details and where you can get them.
And Game 4 of the World Series saw New York on its last breath. They took their home diamond last night, looking to fight for one more day.
Kent State University's Marcello Fantoni has served on the scientific committee of the Palace of Versailles for the past decade. Through this prestigious position, Fantoni creates worldwide connections, helping Kent State students and faculty realize one-of-a-kind global experiences.
Today, Kent State University is a global university. We have a presence in every single continent of this planet. If we send our Ohio students all over the world and bring their experiences back, we create the conditions in Ohio for a much healthier and stronger development of the entire state. When you come back and you have more tools in your brain, more options for solutions, you are a more talented, a more versatile professional. And this is what the market wants today. The future of higher education is global.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Black Squirrel Entertainment will be hosting a concert with the Riley Burke Band on November 16th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the Rathskeller. Doors open at 5 p.m. and admission is free. Don't miss out on a great performance.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
There were some fireworks off the field in Game 4 of the World Series as two Yankees fans were seen trying to steal a ball from Dodgers outfielder Mookie Betts' glove.
This was ruled fan interference and the batter Gleyber Torres was ruled out. The two fans were escorted from the premises and the MLB is asking the New York Yankees to ban them.
The fans were trying to pull the ball from Betts' glove in order to prevent Torres from getting out, but clearly it didn't work. Now, they're going to be banned for tonight's game, but they're allowed to be back at the next game, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, definitely was a weird one. They also, we were talking about this off air, the MLB is going to refund the fans for their tickets, which I don't quite know how I feel about that, but you know, that's not my job.
Hey, they're all fans of the game. That's all we can really say. But we thank you for tuning into your KSTV Sports Report. I am Dom O'Brien, and we will talk about a big matchup happening in Kent State athletics, followed up by the professional sports scene. So we'll take a look first at the Kent State soccer team as they have their final regular season game against Bowling Green tomorrow. The Golden Flashes have a 4-4-2 conference record compared to the Falcons' record of 4-3-3. If the Golden Flashes win, they move up to 4th in the MAC standings. If they lose, they have the potential to drop from 5th to 7th, depending on the other matches in the conference. Kickoff is set at 3 p.m., and the theme of the game is Kick or Treat, with a free Skeleflash pillowcase for the first 50 fans of the game. And now we'll go over to the NBA. The Cleveland Cavaliers host the LA Lakers tonight. The Cavaliers are one of 3 teams in the NBA who still have not lost a game. Cleveland comes off a 12-point comeback win against the New York Knicks on Monday and look to keep their winning streak alive. Meanwhile, the Lakers come off of their first loss of the season against the Phoenix Suns, where the Lakers led by as many as 18 points but couldn't get it done. The game tips off at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse at 7 p.m. And now we'll go over to the World Series. Will the Dodgers win that very trophy? Well, it started off really nice with a Freddie Freeman home run once again. He just keeps on sending dingers throughout the field. That made it a 2-0 ball game, but the Yankees fired right back. Anthony Volpe, grand slam. How about that response to make it a 5-2 ball game as they go up by 3, but then again, they just keep on rattling these off. Austin Wells sends a no-doubter to right field. The Yankees keep on pushing. They do not want to be swept, as that made it 6-4. As we continue, bottom of the 8th, runners on the corners, and Gleyber Torres says goodbye to that ball. 5 total home runs in this game, including that 3-run shot into right field, 10-4 Yankees. What a great run, what a great hitting outing for all of these players, including Aaron Judge, who got a hit, only his second hit of the series, as they were able to get the victory here 11-4, a very, very dominant win from the Yankees to stay in this one. And we'll see Game 5 begins tonight at 8:08 p.m. at Yankee Stadium, where New York continues on their quest to do the impossible, come back from down 3-0. Thank you for tuning into sports. I'm Dom O'Brien. Let's send it back to Liv.
Thank you, Dom. What happens when Timothée Chalamet crashes a Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest? We'll tell you more, and if he won.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Welcome back, folks. If you're a fan of the Dune series or the new Willy Wonka movie, you probably saw this, but just in case you didn't, a Timothée Chalamet look-alike contest was held on Sunday in Washington Square Park in Manhattan, where a group of nearly 2,000 people who are said to bear a resemblance to the Little Women star gathered. Now, when all of a sudden, the actor Timothée Chalamet himself appeared, and funnily enough, he didn't win his own look-alike contest.
So close, and yet so far.
Yes.
You know what's sad? The prize was $50.
It was, and they had a very large
They had
check.
a very
it was
big,
comically
big check.
I
want to know where you can get one of those.
Honestly,
checks.
poor Timmy, he really could have used it.
Why? Oh, yeah.
Wait, why did they do this to begin with?
Fun?
Why not?
Why not? Because
We're all
what
humans.
else?
We like to do things.
Yeah.
So don't you want to see how much you look like Timothée Chalamet?
No.
I feel like it's a human need.
Look-alike
Really.
contests have been going on forever. Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift. Timothée Chalamet is a strange choice, but I mean,
But I
guess
will
it
say,
worked.
you know, this year has been kind of the year of Timothée Chalamet
It
with
has.
both Dune and Willy Wonka. We could really hear his name come award season.
Well, did anyone really watch Willy Wonka? Anyways,
No.
that's
Oh.
all the time we have left for us tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For the latest updates on the stories that impact our community, go to Kent Wired and follow us on social media. I'm Gage Wellman.
I'm Dom O'Brien.
I'm Eli Federspiel.
I'm Nikki Gajeski.
I'm Tyler Schlosser.
And I'm Liv Sharp.
Have
a good night,
Portage County.
Kent State Student Media invites you to a charity collaboration between Black Squirrel Entertainment and KSTV, Extra Life. Watch all your favorite entertainment shows in one big 16-hour marathon as they raise money for the Akron Children's Hospital.
That is fantastic.
Starring the illustrious celebrities of the Blurb,
Do you want to go in the timeout?
No.
Okay, then say you're sorry.
the underdog nerds of All Systems Go, the comedic hooligans of Grab Bag,
My baby's gonna lose to you, you son of a...
the fun-loving gang, the College Voice,
Nice, Colin.
the musical masterminds of Kent Core,
Let's just
let's go.
and more.
You know the rules.
Just electric.
Come see all your favorite friends. Support a great cause